Hi there, and welcome to another video of Made with Cables. My name is Mark, my handle on the forums is Andro, and today I'll be giving the third part of our tutorial series with data visualization inside of cables. Today I'll be showing you how to get air pollution data from the city of Katowice in Poland and how to map this into the city coordinates and how to visualize how severe the pollution is in certain parts of the city. That's what you can see right here on the screen. So today we're going to learn how to do this from the raw CSV data. So I'm just going to close this. Now if you go to the cables webpage and you go to learn and you click this part here, coding with cables, it's going to take you to our GitHub repository. So here we go to this folder, data visualization. Now we're interested in two files here. This one, 2019-0401 and Katowice CSV. So Katowice CSV is the latitude and longitude data. So if we're going to click this file now, it's going to open up here and here we can see the latitude and longitude data. So to get this, I click raw. It opens like this in the browser and I press Control and S. And now it says, how do I want to save this file? So I'm going to put it in downloads and I'm going to make sure it's called Katowice CSV. I remove the TXT extension, click save. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and go back again. And now I'm going to get this one, 2019-0401. So I'm going to click it, and this is going to show the quality of the air at different stations through the city. I'm not going to go too much into it right now. We're just going to do the same procedure. I'm going to click raw. It's going to open it like this. I'm going to press Control S. I'm going to remove the TXT extension, so it's only .csv, and I'm going to click save. So now I've downloaded my two CSV files. I'm going to close this window. I want you now to make a new cables patch, and I would just like you to make what you see on the screen here. Great. So first of all, I just want to get these two files into cables. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say show in folder. And if I look here now, I've got the Katowice CSV and the air quality daily. So I'm going to grab this file, click and drag into the upload area. It's going to upload the CSV file. And then it's going to create the parsed JSON file. I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab this one. And I'm going to pull this one in as well. That's the air quality through the city. Great. I'm going to press escape, press F11 to go to full screen. So without further ado, let's get started. So first of all, I want to create an outline of the city like I saw there. So I'm going to go here. And I'm going to grab a trigger extender. I just want to keep my patch nice and tidy right now. It seems straight lines. And now I'm going to create the CSV array op. Parse CSV files into an array. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to click on File. And now I'm going to get the Katowice CSV.json file. I click and load it. And we can check the array contents right here by clicking the op and the inspect icon, latitude and longitude. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to get the op get values from array of objects. I'm going to copy it and paste it again. I'm going to grab the array. I'm going to plug it in here, zoom in a touch. Okay, so if I look here, it's LAT for latitude, L and G for longitude. So I'm going to type here that the key is LAT, key, L and G. And as you can see, we now have the latitude in one array and we have the longitude in another. So now we need to pack these together. So I'm going to grab the array pack2 op. Pack two individual arrays into a new array. Okay. We need to trigger. And now we have the arrays combined. XY, XY, XY. So now I'm going to grab a cool new op, the Mercator coordinates array. Mercator map and center an array of latitudes and longitudes to a local coordinate system. So that allows me to get latitude and longitude data and map it to a local coordinate system that we can use inside of cables. So I'm going to add this. It expects an array to X and Y data. So I plug that in. And basically, I'm going to just show you how we can do this wrong now. So I'm going to just pull this down because we want to draw this to a line. I grab a basic material, then I'm going to grab a simple spline up. Now, the thing is, a simple spline up needs X, Y, Z data. So X, Y, Z for each point. But right now, this up is only outputting X, Y, X, Y. So we've got a really cool up for this. So we just drag this out and we type in array 2 to 3. It inserts a 0 for every third item. So now we get X, Y, 0, X, Y, 0. So I'm going to get that array and I'm going to plug that into the simple spline. Now the problem is we don't see anything on the screen right now, and that's because Katowice is somewhere over here or over there. It's not been centered on the screen. So what we need to do is we need to use these two parameters here, center latitude, center longitude. We need to center Katowice on the screen. Imagine if you've got a globe. Right now Katowice could be behind the globe or at the top, and we want to turn that so that we can see it. So there's a really easy way to do this. I'm going to grab the array output. I'm going to grab the info array 2. Let's zoom out a touch and move this down. So this is going to give me the average X and the average Y. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to grab the average X and I'm going to plug it into center latitude. I'm going to grab the average Y and I'm going to plug it into here. And now I've got something on the screen, but it's really small. So now we need to make the map width bigger, and I'll explain why. So look, I'm going to just crank this up to a higher number. If we were looking at Germany right now, which is a really big surface area, this number would maybe be on 100 or 200. But because we're looking at a city inside of a country, the area is smaller, so we need to make the map width bigger. So you're just going to have to play with that number until you see something on the screen. If it's really big, make it smaller. If it's small, make it big. So let me just change the color here to white. So in under 5 minutes, we've got like the outline of a city on the screen. Really cool, really great. So now what we want to do is we want to map the air pollution data, which was recorded at all these different stations in the city. And we want to map that onto those coordinates inside of the city. Now the good news is we just did a lot of the work already. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to grab this with the CSV array, all of this part to array 2 to 3. Sorry, let's copy this with the trigger extender. I do Control-C, so I copy them, and I paste them here. I'm now going to grab the trigger extender and pull it over there. So now I'm going to load, in this CSV array, I'm going to load the air quality daily information. So I'm going to go back with escape. Now, if I inspect this array, we can see that we also have latitude and longitude, the position of each station. Here we have a station ID, the time that the data was measured, the minimum value of air pollution at that time, maximum value, mean value, and the percentage of norm. I'm interested in the percentage of norm, but don't let that confuse you. Right now, I just want to see all of these points in the city. Let's keep it simple. So we have latitude and longitude. So the great part is that these two get values from an array of objects. They're already working correctly. So I now want to use this for mesh instance with circles. So I'm just going to grab a basic material. I'm just going to make it a little bit red. And now I'm going to grab a mesh instancer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a circle mesh. So circle mesh. And as you can see, that puts a big circle on the screen. I'm going to get the geometry output and plug it in there. But I don't want to see this anymore. So I'm going to click draw off. Okay, a mesh instance is drawing one on the screen. So the great part is now, we now have the position data. So let me just zoom in a little bit. So we go to array 2 to 3, and we plug it into positions. Everything is really filled on the screen. So now we're going to pull the radius of the circle mesh down. As we can see, there it is. But now we've got a problem. This isn't aligned to the city. Now if you think about it, this actually makes a lot of sense. So now we're getting the average X and Y position of the station data, but that isn't the average of X and Y for the city. So we're just going to unplug this and get rid of that. And we're going to get the average X from the city and center the station data around this. And now it all falls within the city, as we can see. So this is nice and quick and easy, and it makes perfect sense. So we're already pretty far now. So the last thing that I want to do is I want to make those circles bigger if there's more air pollution at that station. So what I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to create a new get value from array of objects. I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to inspect this array, and I want to get the percentage of norm. So with the mouse, I just click and drag, and I've got to make sure I just get that exact with the key. Control C. And I'm going to paste that here. There we go. So now we can see that I've got 83 numbers, which are going to map to all those stations there. So now I'm going to do map range array. And if you followed the previous tutorials, this is going to make a lot of sense. So if we're going to look at this, the minimum value, I don't know what it is. It could be 34. The maximum maybe 70. And I want to remap that to the range 0 and 1. So I'm going to pull this array out, and I'm going to grab the array info up. It's going to give me the minimum and the maximum values. So I'm going to get the minimum. I'm going to plug it into the old min here. Maximum, and plug it into there. And now I want to remap it from 0 to 1. So I want to change the scale of the circles with this. Now I need to change X, Y, and Z all at the same time with the same number. So I'm just going to pull this out, and I'm going to grab an array pack 3. Okay, I'm going to give this a trigger. So now I'm just going to get the same array, and I'm going to put it in here, and there, and now I'm going to plug it into scale. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the new maximum up like this. And now I'm going to make the screen a little bit bigger so it's easier for you to see. And this does have an effect on the size of the circle. If I put the size of the circle now to 1, everything's huge. And now I could pull down the new max and the map range array and pull that to a value, which makes sense. So if you ever get that happen with your data, you just got to play around with those two numbers. So now the bigger that a circle is, the more air pollution that there is at that point inside of the city. So that's covering the end of this tutorial. So with this one, we've learned how to get CSV data, map it to the outline of a city. We could also do that with a country. We've also learned how to get data from real world locations and to map that inside of the same location, and how to get a really simple thing like a number and remap it to a size. So I hope this video has been educational and informative. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them under the video below or to post them on the forums. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. Bye.